In a flashback to the night Ellie was bitten, we see her reconnect with her best friend and first crush Riley in an abandoned mall in Boston. Riley has planned one last night for Ellie before leaving for Atlanta with the Fireflies. The two have an emotional but fun reunion before they are attacked by infected. Back in the present, remembering all that she's lost, Ellie stays and does what she can to take care of Joel. With a horse borrowed from the Jackson, Wyoming settlement, Joel and Ellie arrive at the University of Eastern Colorado to find it abandoned by the Fireflies. They find a map that indicates they fled to Salt Lake City, but before Joel and Ellie can head that way, they're attacked by a small group of raiders. Joel kills one of them, but is stabbed in the process. His injury is critical, and Ellie does her best to take care of him in the unforgiving winter they find themselves in. As he fades, Ellie and Joel bury the brothers before setting off for Wyoming on foot. They eventually make it and find that Tommy isn't in danger, but has instead been living in an almost utopian settlement with his wife Maria Rutina Wesley. Tommy tells Joel that he's heard of some Fireflies setting up a lab in Colorado, and Joel begs Tommy to take Ellie there. After losing Sarah, and now Tess, Joel is worried that he won't be able to keep Ellie safe. Ellie overhears their conversation and gets angry with Joel, thinking that she's going to lose him just like she's lost everyone else in her life. In the end, Joel decides to let Ellie choose who she goes with, and of course she chooses Joel. Henry, Sam, Joel, and Ellie make it to a nearly abandoned cul-de-sac before Kathleen and her soldiers catch up to them. However, their vehicles accidentally release a swarm of infected that had been driven underground by FEDRA, and the rebels are quickly overrun by the horde. Even though Henry, Sam, Joel, and Ellie escape to a motel, it's revealed that Sam was bitten during the ambush. Ellie tries to save him with her blood, but it doesn't work. Sam turns the next morning and attacks Ellie. Henry shoots Sam to save Ellie, but appalled by what he's done, he then turns the gun on himself and commits suicide. On their way to Wyoming, Joel and Ellie are attacked in Kansas City. The people of KC have overthrown FEDRA, and their leader, Kathleen, is hunting conspirators ruthlessly. She has her sights set on Henry and his younger brother Sam, who end up working with Joel and Ellie to escape the city through a tunnel system. Henry turned over Kathleen's brother, the former leader of the FEDRA resistance in KC, in exchange for life-saving medicine for Sam, and she wants revenge for this betrayal. Bill and Frank live alone in a small town outside of Boston that they've turned into a fortress against raiders and infected. They live out the days together, trading with Tess and Joel occasionally, until Frank becomes ill. Frank asks Bill to let him die, having already lived a full life with Bill over the last 2 decades. Bill obliges, giving Frank one more beautiful day together before they die in each other's arms after drinking drugged wine. Bill leaves behind a truck and other supplies that Joel and Ellie use to set off for Wyoming. Joel, Tess, and Ellie make it to the meeting point only to find that the Fireflies became infected and killed each other. Tess then reveals that she was bitten during an earlier fight with infected clickers on the way there, and begs Joel to finish what they started and get Ellie to the Fireflies. She sacrifices herself as a swarm of infected close in, and Joel and Ellie head to allies Bill and Frank, hoping that they can help them acquire a car. 20 years later, Joel is now living in the Boston quarantine zone, which is run by FEDRA, the military regime that has risen from the remains of the US government. There, he works as a smuggler with his partner Tess. Joel is trying to find a truck and a battery that will get him and Tess to his brother in Wyoming. After not hearing from Tommy in weeks, Joel is worried about him. After another smuggler screws them and the Fireflies, an anti-FEDRA militant group, over by trying to sell them both the same broken battery, Joel and Tess are hired by the Fireflies leader Marlene to smuggle a young girl outside the city and get her to the other Fireflies that are heading west. The young girl, Ellie, is immune to the cordyceps infection, and Marlene hopes to get her to a doctor who is working on a cure. Sadly, this chapter of Joel and Ellie's story will come to a close with episode 9, Look for the Light, though thanks to the series season 2 renewal 20 years later, Joel is now living in the Boston quarantine zone, which is run by FEDRA, the military regime that has risen from the remains of the US government. There, he works as a smuggler with his partner Tess. Joel is trying to find a truck.